Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Edward Townsend. I'll be your moderator today. All right, we have great things going on, great things happening today. First, we give honor to God for allowing us to be here at this moment in time and another new day that we've never been a part of, never seen. Let me just say a few words here. Uh, the word for the day is speak what you seek. Speak what you seek. Declare what it is to be. Isaiah 45 and 21. Let me tell you a little bit about my mission statement: to create wealth for families and to include enriching their lives through the education, support, and opportunity and care. It is my goal to be a perfecting and ever striving example to my team, my clients, and all with whom I am connected to. I will continue to stretch the vision of those who still dream and provide them with the keys to unlock the doors to their future. I further endeavor to enable them to create an ever enriching standard of life, increasing standard of life through the rapid repetition of the business principles outlined in the Wealth Creator LLC Business Elite System. I additionally pledge to work hard and dedicate my faith in God, family, and business, and will not stop until we attain our goals. We attain our goals. That's why I always say, always victory, and I see everybody at the top. So we're gonna be billionaires, and we're gonna make millions of dollars. But when I make a million, everybody else will make a million. So it's not gonna be just a one-sided situation that we're used to and that we see more prevalent every day. But take a look at what I consider to be a team. Together, everyone accomplished more. Together, everyone accomplished more. And I'm coming from my book today. Your money is worthless. And they say, well, Mr. Townsend, why is my money worthless? If your money is not working for you, it is worthless to you, because everybody profits off your money except you. And that's what we're here to talk about today: how to increase your income through income producing assets. Income producing asset. That means that I have an asset that creates money for me. It's the formula wealthy use: cash, asset, cash. I got cash. I buy an asset that creates me more cash, and I buy another asset. An asset could be a fourplex. See, cash, pay for the fourplex, and now it's an income producing asset. You rent the four apartments out. You don't owe a bank loan. You don't owe anybody. So it's an income producing asset that's 100% paying you. See that? No loan. We create our own cash flow. This is the part of being involved with the movement. See, we have great strategies and we have great opportunities for people to use to accomplish those things. We have programs set up to where we can help striving people. I call them mom and pop places, stores, and people starting up a business, but do not have capital or revenue, do not know the ins and outs of business. I have close to 30, 35 years of business experience, not the kind of business experience everybody see in the norm, because see, we are outside of the norm. What everybody else normally do, we don't do that, because we've been locked in bondage in the norms all our life. Go to school, get a good education, penny pension, save. and retire and you'll be all right. It's not real. It's over for those days. Most companies don't have pensions. You have to pay your own pension through 401k plans, right? Everybody benefit the most except you. It takes a lifetime for you to accomplish wealth. If you do in the norm, it takes a lifetime. But we're here to work in the miracle business. I believe that God is still performing miracles and time is not involved. Miracle could happen tomorrow. Everyone in the sound of my voice can become millionaires and instantly tap into your faith. Tap into what God has said that's for you in Deuteronomy 8 and 18. It gave us the power to gain wealth. That means we got to do something. We got to give him something to work with. It don't just happen. I say this every day because I think it's vital that we say it until people get it. We have to fight against financial illiteracy. It is a big problem. See, most people don't understand when you say we at war with financial illiteracy. That means people don't understand how finances are formed, finances are made. They illiterate about business. They don't know how to run a business to be a successful business. It's not about making money. Run your business and the money will come. Business is a money-making machine. It's also an asset, an income-producing asset. AT&T is a business. My phones, I pay every month. That's an income-producing asset to AT&T. What about us? On my last call, I talked about the 9th Street in Little Rock, Arkansas. Comments are open. If you want to comment, yes, I did or did not look at the 9th Street in Little Rock, Arkansas, and go back to 1921. Well, that's when the disruption had happened there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But before 1921, for the things that they had accomplished, they had to start at least 10 to 12 years before 1921 to accomplish all those things, right? So even back then, we were able to do significant things. So now we have to start doing the same thing again. Because I want you to understand why I say, like on my shirt here, why I say your money is worthless. Because we don't understand how money works. Money works. But do you know how to make your money work for you? Is the problem. Sure, we go out and we make money. Now let's put that money to work for us through income producing asset. Get the money. We got avenues to get the money. We got investment groups to get the money. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. We can conquer this thing just like that because God is still in the miracle business. In the miracle business, it's not based on time. I keep saying that because I want you to understand we got to get out of the world system and get into God's system. God don't operate the way the worldly system works. The worldly system keeps us in bondage. It's an avenue for Satan to rob, kill, and steal all that we're about. Get rid of fear, doubt, and skepticism. It's just things Satan used to immobilize us, to keep us down. It all means the same. Fear, doubt, fear. Why did you doubt? Because you fear. You're skeptical. Why are you skeptical? Because you're doubtful, because you fear. It's all the same. You're not going to do anything. It's a deterrent from you making a decision. Well, I don't fear, but I'm doubtful. What's the difference? Every time I hear something, I'm skeptical. That don't work. Things like that. I tried something like that. God said, get an understanding. If it wasn't the same, you can't say you did something like that. It's time out for all of that. You see my information strolling across the body. If you know someone that would you think that would like to hear those things, send them to the call. Thank you, Mimi. Good to hear from you today. So the chat line is open. If you want to ask me a question, if you have something that you want me to answer, please do. Communication is the key, not only to building wealth, but communication is the avenue for connection. I want us to connect and unite and be a wealth, not connect, unite, and make money. We've been doing that all our lives. Don't know how old everyone is, but if you've been working the last 10 years, whether it's straight 10 years or in and out for 10 years, you still haven't produced any wealth. Why? They're not in business for you to come and work for them and make millions. You coming to work for them to help them to build a successful business, which they make millions. We got to get out of the consumer business. And we got to get out of hiring ourselves out. We educate ourselves. We go to college. We get the degrees. And then we hire ourselves out to these different companies that pay us just enough to live. Why do you think every time something happens, it affects the working class people or the people that have not? And I don't mean not having anything, but I'm just saying if $500 bill came through, it would disrupt your whole lifestyle. See, it's getting down to the point to where it's the haves and the have-not. Welcome, Miss Townsend. I have a business and I want to be a wealth. Send me your information and call me 501-944-5056, Mimi, and I will give you the information that you need to get started. Okay? Everything that you know, because see, you're making money right now if you got a job. And you're right. You want to know how to build wealth. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. It's easy, but we got to get unified. Everybody in the world know two people. I know two people. Two people right now I'm talking to. Miss Townsend, that's my sister. And Mimi, that's two people. Wealth in two people is more than you can attach your hands to, because it's compounding. Just like they talk about compounding interest when you put your money in the bank. You put it in the bank and they give you 1% in the bank. And then they turn around and lend your money out at 12% and above. That means their money double. If they lend you $10,000, their money double every 3 years. But at 1%, if you put your money in the bank, it's going to take, 2%, it's going to take your money many years, 18 to 36 years to double. You see the difference? So we got to get out of entrapment and start doing things that's going to empower us. That's what this podcast is all about, empowering people financially. And we got to fight this war on illiteracy mentality in finances. You feel that you never can have wealth. Our parents did the best thing they could for us, but they didn't understand wealth. I've researched over the years in my family. My sister was telling me last night, she said, I didn't know our dad owned the garbage company in our little hometown of 1,100 people. Yes, he did. He owned the garbage company, but he didn't have understanding about how business go. because he wasn't business minded. He had skills and talents, and he worked hard all his life. He felt that it was something better. I wish that I knew back then what I know today, and I could have helped him to be successful. But it wasn't a time or place. If it would have happened during that time. But I can look back, and it was that way. We had a lot of relatives that was carpenters. My uncle was a carpenter. He could build a house, but he never had any schooling on it. See, God give us a measure of talents and skills that we can use. We don't tap into it. We don't tap into it. I talk about finances because I consider that to be my ministry. I'm not talking about being a pastor. I'm talking about my ministry. We all are ministers when it comes to the word of God. But how we distribute it and give it to people, that's up to us, because I let God direct me on which way to go. I prayed before the call that we would have people on here would have an understanding. See, I want 24 people of like-mindedness, and I can show you how to build wealth in a short period of time. But it takes consistency, it takes unity, and it takes you doing something outside of sitting and waiting. You got to produce, you got to go and do something. We got to get out of fear, doubt, and skepticism. See, people tell me, well, Mr. Townsend, you've been doing this, you say, for 30, 35 years. You know, I'm not as lucky as you are. But I say, I'm not lucky because, see, this is what I consider to be luck. Luck. See, what I did over the last 30, 35 years, luck, I labored under correct knowledge. See, what you're caught up into in the world system today, if you want to use luck for that, you labored under control knowledge. Because everything that we got, we look for other people to get it. We got a job because we wanted to make more money. We went back to school to get a higher education and a higher degree to make more money. That's a continual treadmill of bondage. And we're teaching our kids the same thing, and they're going to follow in our footsteps. Because I did the same thing until I found out that it was something different. And I started selling grit newspaper back in the early 50s. I was like 8 or 9 years old selling grit newspaper in the country. I mean, we was deep in the countries you can go. We didn't know nothing but country. Anything outside that, we didn't have running water. We didn't have electric lights. We didn't have TVs. We didn't have no radio. We didn't have none of the necessities of life that people use today. So when I got that grit newspaper and saw all the buildings, New York City, Chicago, this exists. We lived in a shotgun house. You could stand in the front door and look out the back door. 3 rooms in there. We made bedrooms, kitchen, and living room out of those 3 rooms. So I understand the have and the have-nots of life. I understand hard work. We chop cotton from sun up to sundown, from an infant baby under the trailer that the person that carried water to babysit during the time. Everybody had to work. So I understand that. So it's passionate to me when I talk about today, because we have an opportunity to do differently. Back then, we were totally controlled because we were living under someone else's property. You understand that? Pay no rent. No, we didn't have electricity. We paid no rent. I'll just say that. We paid no rent, and we worked all year long. My grandfather got the money for the family. What was left or none. You borrowed it all. You used it all. So my life If I wanted to be negative about what life have to offer, I can go back and say, man, I just give up, throw up my hands. But see, it's not like that now. That's why I talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. They built a city within a city. They had banks, movie theaters. They own everything. You got to own something nowadays to be a wealth. And I'm not talking about just millionaire money. I'm talking about the billion flow. We got to start flowing billions of dollars because we got a lot of people that need our help. Our program is about helping people to make their business successful. Show them the right way how to do it and not be manipulated through other people. The reason I can say it because I've been through all of it for the last 25 to 30 years. Making $100,000, $200,000 a year, done that. But that wasn't what I was in business for. I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to leave generational wealth. And I trusted in man and didn't listen to God. See, don't put your trust in man. Put your trust in the system that God has. God's system, the word seed. Because there's a word for everything. If you're sick, there's a word for it. If you're lonely, there's a word for it. If you need more cash, there's a word for it. See, the word is there to help lead and guide us in all of our directions if we just seek it. And I'm not a preacher. I spread the gospel just like I get it. Freely given, I freely give it away. I have no doubts about what I say because what I'm saying I know is correct. I might not give all the scripture numbers, but if you're unsaved, what is the scripture number going to do to you if you don't even know what the book is? Bible. I need to tell you in layman's terms where you can understand what I say. It is not good for a man to be alone. He need to be married. You gave me the power to gain wealth, Deuteronomy 8:18. I know that because, see, I use that as my theme. Deuteronomy 8:18 on all my literature and stuff. I use that scripture because I want people to understand you're one step ahead than where you think you are. He said he gave us the power to gain wealth. The rest is up to us. We got to do something. And I tell, if you know my sister, you can ask her. I tell her all the time about certain things that would empower her. She know me well. I always have been a business-minded person ever since Grit newspaper. And we stayed out in the country with nothing. But yet and still, I felt there was something different. So when I got old enough to make a difference, I was gone. I started seeking, asking God to enlarge my territory. I don't have a problem with leaving here today and going to California to live. I can stay there 5 years. I don't have a problem leaving there and going to Washington State to live. If business present itself there better than where I am, if I ask God to enlarge my territory and he send me somewhere else, I'm going. I don't have to stay where I was born all my life. And I want people to understand that because sometimes we got to relocate to do different things. With technology now, we're able to reach a lot of other places and do things without physically going there. But when the physical body had to be there, I was always doing that. So I don't have a problem with doing it now. I have a bigger problem with technology. I just learned how to do podcasts. I just got the stuff to set up podcasts. All I know is I saw the people talking and I wanted to be a part of that. That looks easy and I can do it from my home. This is the room in my house. I don't have to have an office. When I did have an office during the other time, I spent $3,000 some dollars a month just to have an office so other people could come in and learn about finances. They didn't appreciate that. So that was another learning for me. So if people really want to do something, you don't have to give yours away for them to do it or to bug them every day to do it. If they have a desire to change their life, all you have to do is to ask and show them the way. See, I try to give you information and stuff of substance. That means you can take it and it'll do something for you. A lot of things we get, there's no substance in it. It's just talking, it's just rhetoric, it's just a lot of other stuff. But if you want to change your financial life, you're in the right place at the right time, because we can do it here. And when we get 24 people, I'm going to show you how your pockets will overflow with cash, and you'll be able to start your company. If you already got one, show you how to improve it and make it better, because you got to monetize what you do. See, this year, talking, I monetized it this year. For the last 3 years, putting it all together, it was free. So I monetize it. Next month, we'll be having individuals come on with me that has worked with me, other individuals that has been successful in their business, and you can hear their story. I gave you my mission. I gave you my story. You need to hear from somebody else beside me. They're out there, but it's not enough. See, we're still talking about 1921 Tulsa. We're talking about the early 60s with 9th Street in Little Rock. People built wealth within cities among themselves because they had desires. They know it was something better, but they lost it because they didn't stabilize it. They didn't build the bulk of finances they need to sustain themselves. So they got maneuvered. You have to check out everything. They bought the 630 interstate through Little Rock, straight down 9th Street. Tore down all the buildings that they had, their property and their stores and things that they own. Same thing with Tulsa. They destroyed them. See, we had to build it today where it stands. And that's empowering each individual. And we got to have like-mindedness. See, something happened to me, then Mimi and Miss Townsend, they could carry on because they think like I do. So we got like-mindedness. So we can go on if everyone's not here. Friday, we will be right back here. I will have another topic and we can communicate more. But if I said anything today that piqued your interest and you want to know more, give me a call, 501-944-5056, or you can email me. I'll put the email on here. Okay. Okay, that's wealthcreatorchange.com. My email is caded51@wealthcreatorchange.com. 501-944-5056 is my phone number. Okay. So we got to develop a lot of stuff. A vision of victory. We need to do that. And see, God has done a lot of things for us in our lives. But we can't dwell on that. We can't dwell on that because he said in Isaiah 43:19, he told us to forget all that, what I've done in the past. What I have for you today and going forward, you cannot perceive. That's why I like the word seed. As long as I do that, I have no fear of anything. I have no doubt that he can make it happen. But I believe that scripture. I believe it. And I stand behind it. And I got faith that that's going to take place within my life because I want the part to where he says, I cannot perceive it. I won't believe it. See, miracles are instantaneously performed. There's no time. You can get off this call today and a miracle take place because it is not designed to be next year, next month, 3 months, 2 months, 5 months. Instantly, we're in the miracle making. God is in the miracle making business and he's still doing it. It never changes. He said, I change not. So that tells me he's still doing miracles. We don't see it because we don't have a lot of people tapping into it. Yes, there are miracles every day, but it's so few, and we're not directly connected or see it or somebody broadcast it, we don't know it. Let's make it a daily process. Let's make it to where miracles took place. Okay. And we're going to create that strategy. We talked about the history of mentality when I talked about 1921 in 9th Street in Little Rock. That was the history of the wealthy mentality. They had a wealth mentality. They didn't know all the way how to do it and keep it, but they accomplished a lot. If we can do what they did in 1921 today, there's no stopping us, and we'll be able to help a lot of people. See, I'm not in business just for me. I want to be able to bless people. It was a blessing for me to get to this platform to be able to give the information out to people so they can make a decision to change. And we're going to work strongly on the income shifting strategies going to be introduced. Now, tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm going to do a Zoom. That's going to be an income producing asset for the people that's on here. You get on the Zoom. If I don't have your email, Mimi, I don't have your email. You can send me your email. When you call me, you can give me your email, and I will email the strategy out to you, and the same to you, Ms. Townsend. The information, it'll be at 7 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll do a Zoom, and I can actually show you the income producing asset. And you'll be surprised because it's the things you do already. If you know 2 people in your life around you, we'll talk more about that this evening because I get into that subject right away. But anyway, if you know 2 people, then the system will work for you this afternoon at 7 o'clock. And I sent out a lot of emails this morning, so I don't know who all I sent it to. But if you want to be on that Zoom tonight, if Mimi know Mary, okay, I'm going to call you after this. Okay, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. So I'll know in your 870 or 501, Mimi. If you're okay, because I try to dodge the scams. I get them all day long, 24/7. I got my phone cut off now, don't it? It's been ringing the whole time we was talking. But we would get together and I would get the information out to you. Oh, 470. Okay. Don't know what state that is, but that's all right. 470, I'll be looking for that. Oh, Georgia. Okay. Did a lot of work there, man. I got a lot of business partners down in that area of town. In Atlanta, got a cousin in Hines, Georgia. But I hope I said something today that would empower people and get them to say, hey, look, I'm ready to do a mind transformation. See, I have my book here. This is my book. And everything we've been talking about, I also put it in my book. And I went today on the page to where we were talking about everything is done year round. And it's got the schedule in the book. We on today from May to August. That's where we are today, from May to August. And we'll be going through the process and the outlines for all of those months. And then we'll start on the next segment. And then we're going to have, at the end of the year, we're going to have our big event. I'm watching the COVID thing. And if we clear it up good enough for me to make a decision to do it that way, it will be in person. If not, we have the big event. We have other successful people that I know that's connected to me that's have accomplished great things in their lives through the same process and training and learning that I have. And we're gonna do that at the end of the year. Oh, you're my cousin too, Mimi. Mary, did you hear that? She's our cousin. Okay. Well, I look forward to it, cuz. I got another title. I look forward to meeting you and connecting with you. Okay. So I'm going to end right here. And I will see everybody back here at 7 o'clock. It'll be on Zoom. And, once I get people's email, and then I can email the information, or I get them on the phone, I can email the link to them so they can get on the call. So always victory. And I'll see everybody at the top. God bless.